Hello, good people, and welcome to the platform by Brown Boss Collaborative. This is our first episode that we are starting this new podcast to promote, prepare, and present others on how to be great business owners and in entrepreneurship. The Brown Boss Collaborative is comprised of 8 women that have professional businesses. We offer over 20 services. And so the podcast is here for us to tell about who we are, what we do together, and then also promote others and what they do in business as well. So thank you for joining us and welcome to the platform by Brown Boss Collaborative. I am Deidre Carter, the owner of Crown Sophistication Agency. We are a branding and consulting firm. And then we have Tiara Richardson, who is an event designer. She is the owner of Rich Lavish Events. And Heather Singleton is the owner of Strategic Public Relations Consulting. So, hey girls, how y'all doing?
Hey. Hello everyone.
Yes, I'm so glad that we are finally doing this and being able to come together and discuss some business topics, some hot topics we have done together. So first and foremost, let's start with our collaborative moment. We just did the sneaker ball together for Vital Connections of the Midlands. That was on February 10th at Sacred Park, and it turned out so well. I was the event coordinator. Shout out to Heather because she hired and suggested me to be the event coordinator for that event, and Tiara I hired to be the event designer, and it turned out really good. We had over 100 guests. We basically sold out, and we were stressed out, but it all turned out well. Yeah. So how did y'all feel overall from the beginning to the end of, I guess we can start with Heather, because it's Heather's client initially. So talk to us about, I guess, how it came together, and then what made you call on us, basically.
Okay. So I've been working with Vital Connections for a little bit over maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years. And I have a connection from them or with them from my days of working for somebody else.
Right.
And, divine intervention set in, God be Godding.
Yes.
And I bumped into the executive director and he was like, "You're not there anymore. Give me a call on Monday."
Right.
And so we were able to talk through some things. And one of the signature things that is really near and dear to his heart is trying to expand their capacity as far as their fundraising and stuff is concerned.
Yes.
So we were able to come to an agreement where I would begin providing public relations services to them as an organization. And one of my goals or tasks is to create or curate a signature event, like a signature fundraiser that really showcases what they do in the community, how they impact lives, and how people can get involved with them.
Yes.
So we came up with this idea of a sneaker ball. I have no idea. I don't even remember who suggested it or if I caught it in a dream. I don't know. But all of a sudden, everybody's like super excited about this idea of a sneaker ball.
Yes.
And for some people, they'd never heard of a sneaker ball before. And I feel like it kind of started culturally with us. Definitely. Shout out to all the brown bosses, Black and brown bosses across the world. But introducing a new audience to this was definitely something that I was concerned about, because what's hip and cool to us ain't always respected in the corporate setting. Yes. So we started talking about it. We got all of our ideas together, and we were like, we're really going to do this, but we got to do it right. And one of the biggest issues that I have with events that I even plan or work on is that day of coordination. Yes. And somebody who can be a second set of hands, who's really just about your client, about what needs to be done, and is good with people of different backgrounds and different psychological states, because people can be a lot, amen. Yes. And it has to be someone who can play to that, someone who is personable. And I, of course, thought about my business bestie. For sure. And who else am I going to call? Who else? And so I tapped Deidre And Deidre said, well, you guys are going to need a decorator. And I was like, yeah, I know. Who do you know? And she immediately told me about tea.
Yeah.
And so the rest was history.
Period.
So.
Period. When Heather called and said, oh, I pitched you to be an event coordinator for a sneaker bar, I was like, heck yeah, girl, I'm ready. Like, whatever you need. And so immediately, of course, because I know they needed an event designer or decorations, I'm going to call T, period, because that's my go-to. There's no way I will be able to do any event without her, if that makes sense. Like, that's my go-to person. I'm always going to go to T for designing. So I think the sneaker bar was a good idea. I contacted other people. Event coordinating is not an easy job
at all.
It's a lot of communication. It's a lot of hitting people up. It's a lot of, are you available? What's the price? Making sure that whatever the budget is for the client works well with the vendor and all that stuff. So it's a lot of trying to figure out who is the best fit for the event. And so hands down, T was my number one for event decor, but there are other aspects of the event that needed to be secured. And so I contacted the best people on what I consider my prime elite list. Is a vendor list for me who I will contact certain people to be a part of certain things because I feel like they're the best fit for the client. And not everybody's the best fit. Not everybody's always available, but it worked out well that I ended up getting DJ Jim Boy to DJ Sunday to be the band. And it worked out perfectly. Everybody was on board. Day of coordinating is not for the week. Because baby, you need a good sneaker, you need a good shoe, you need to be able to, you need to have some good knees to walk around, baby.
And a great mindset. And a great mindset.
That's true. A great mindset to be able to facilitate and make sure that everybody is in their proper place and that everybody's pleased, because that's the big thing for me. Like, I want to make sure like everybody wants what they want.
Yeah.
And even if you can't, I try to make like appease you in whatever way I can to say like, I can't give you this specifically, but I can get close to it as possible just for you to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's important in event coordinating for me. So how you feel about it?
I must say, I want to thank you both again for placing me in this room that I have never entered. Yes. I greatly appreciate the both of you. I have been wanting to do a sneaker ball for forever.
See, I didn't even know that.
So look how God worked that out. Shout out to my girls.
Shout out to the
I definitely appreciate them. I think the event was very, very successful. I was very pleased with the turnout,
yes.
The amount of guests that came, and I definitely think that you ladies did a phenomenal job.
So did you.
Putting this together.
Yes.
Yeah, I think one of the pieces of feedback that I got was that they couldn't believe that this was the inaugural fundraiser or the inaugural sneaker ball. They were like, this is y'all's first one. Like, this looks so well put together. Everything was on time. Yes. Everybody, I mean, we had one. We was cutting it. Shout out to the time. We was cutting it a little close.
What?
The MC, bless his heart.
Bless the Lord.
The man of God showed up 2 minutes. Y'all, the man of God showed up. I love him. You know I love him. I need to tell you.
You ain't gonna call no name.
But the man of God showed up 2 minutes ahead or before the event started that he was supposed to go on, and I was like, oh, okay. But he came with a check, so we was cool.
Amen.
We were cool.
He came. Who do I get this to?
Me.
Living director.
Thank you.
Living director. She's taking all the coins tonight.
Listen, the executive director definitely reached out for it. I said, I got it. Don't worry, I got the money.
Yeah, it turned out really good. I think everybody had a good time.
Yeah.
John had a good time. Shout out to John.
John Brown.
Shout out to John Brown, the ED of Vital Connections of the Midlands. He's so cool and down to earth. Yeah. And he was just one of he trusted us so much. And I think that is the part that made me feel so good, was that he trusted us as our expertise in this type of event because he didn't have the experience with it. And so for him to just be like, well, whatever y'all say, then let's go do it. It meant everything to me, because some people can be so critical of your work before they even get to see what you have done or even give you the opportunity to do it. So I shout out to John Brown. Like, John, whatever you need, I got you.
Child, I'm here along for the ride. Where's my polo, sir? Okay, but I think that kind of talks to or speaks to business in general, right? Like if you're going to contract out services or you're going to hire someone, you have to have faith in their skill set, especially if it's an area where you are not experienced.
For sure.
So you got to hire the right folks and let them do their job. One thing that I cannot stand is a micromanager.
Ooh, baby. That's why I'm fired from people's jobs right now.
Bless the Lord. Okay. Okay, I ain't saying I fully agree, but I fully agree. But I just feel like, you know, when you are operating in your zone and in your element, yes, it'll be work. Like it's gonna take sweat equity, but it's not going to just be this is toil. Like we're not toiling. It's what you enjoy and it's what you're purposed for.
For sure.
And that's what made it so easy. Yeah. And everybody came in with the right mindset. Yeah. Everybody knew, all right, we're here to do a job. We're here to help these kids in the community. Yeah. And this is what it is.
And we didn't have any drama.
No.
In real life. It was very hallelujah. It was very peaceful. It was very peaceful. I mean, of course, with all events or any situation, you're gonna always have hiccups. Yeah. I had a mistake. You know, like we all have mistakes.
I had the biggest mistake of the evening, but I was like, Lord, if you show up for me, I'm finished. Show up for you. And didn't he do it?
Yes.
Won't he will?
Yeah, so we had mistakes that just panned out well, and everything turned out well that people didn't even realize that we did make a mistake if there was one, right. Which is good. That people, even though people don't know what happens behind the scenes. Right. And so if we could keep whatever behind the scenes protected and covered and be like, keep it under, I think we did well with that as far as like protecting each other. It makes sense. Like we're gonna make sure we made sure we had each other back. Like whatever you need or whatever you were missing, like each one of us stepped in whatever way we could to make sure like, okay, I got you. That was very important. And it's a good thing when you want to work with other people that you can rely on them to come through for you too. So yeah.
Okay, so I think that is a great segue into the positives of business. Yes. That's a great segue into things that we like. And between the three of us, we've got years of experience when it comes to either freelancing or full-time entrepreneurship or working a business like a 9-to-5 and also running a business. Yes. And that's something that people are aspiring to be. For sure. There are some people who are like, no, I just need the security. Yes. And that's fine. And then there's some people who are like, you know what, caution to the wind, we out here. Mm-hmm. So there are some aspects of business that, you know, we need to clap it up for, like certain things that we want to see more of. So this segment is called I'm a Fan. Annie. Okay. So one of the things that I am a fan of is, let's talk about this Jess Hilarious rollout.
I love Jess Hilarious.
I like her. Yeah. Like we don't agree on everything.
But she your Aquarius sister.
I know. I see.
But okay, I'm listening.
But like I feel like that rollout that she did to announce the Breakfast Club. Everybody had so much to say about the mess. Yes. Ironically. And so it was so interesting because she said nothing. Right. None of her co-hosts said nothing. Okay. And they just let the people talk. Mm-hmm. And so then word came out on social that, she didn't get the opportunity because she announced too soon and she didn't clear it and all this other stuff. And she just was quiet. Yeah. And she was quiet. And now we know that was just part of the plan. For sure. So when they did the rollout, they even did that video and they had like the talking heads, right? Like they had all of these podcasters and everybody who's an influencer talking about it. And then they kind of zoomed in to her sitting on the throne as the queen. Yeah. And we thought, maybe the collective community was like, okay, well, maybe she's gonna talk about it and why she didn't get the job and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden, here comes Charlotte. Charlamagne. What does Webby call him? Charlamagne. 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 Angela Lee. But Charlamagne and Envy come out from behind the throne, and they, are posing like, we got your back, we with you, we with us. and we are one. And this has been we're kicking off her second week of being third week. And she's just been doing well with it. And I feel like that rollout was a great opportunity. Can we just talk about being a fan of the rollout?
For sure. So I think silence is everything. When they say like move in silence, or like don't let people know what your moves are, or whatever the case may be. I think that was basically like the lesson of the day for that for that rollout. Like, first and foremost, don't talk too soon about other people's business when you don't know anything.
And I'm going to add on that because I don't know if you all watch Club Shay Shay.
I do.
So did y'all see the segment where
Country
Wayne was on there, and he was saying how Jess needs to find other things to talk about other than him. But look how this all panned out.
And she don't even talk about him.
Well, here's the crazy thing, and this ain't gossip. This ain't what this is. But since we here, we're gonna talk about it. So it's so crazy that he was like, she need to find other things to talk about. Okay, let's her talk about this new fiance she got. She about to talk about this new baby she got and this new job. So that's enough. She good. She good.
Yeah, all in the works.
You just never know what other people got going on. So it's best to be on mute.
And this lets you know who is the real haters in your life and ready to see your downfall.
Okay.
That's the crazy part.
That is
somebody
crazy.
Now everybody know that Jess Hilarious and Country Wayne used to deal with each other back in the day.
Right.
So for an ex to not even want to see her elevate or grow or say something or have anything positive to say about her means like, so you were jealous of me this whole time? Because why will you not be happy or support me? Like, why do you, not saying he hate her, but why do you dislike her or want to see her fail or not see her do well? And now she's in a position where she will have to interview you if you decide to come on the Breakfast Club. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because now she's going to be able to say what? Give you a platform to talk about what you got going on. But yeah, you want to talk about her because she making moves silently that you don't have no idea of what's going on.
And you out here being a double-minded man. And that in the Bible it said a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So I just don't mind how those tables turn.
I'll start right now.
Okay. But since we talking about rollouts, y'all, let's also talk about the
I love him all my life.
Listen.
Usher Raymond.
Okay, but here's the thing. Usher and Beyonce, because let's talk about this from the standpoint of the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl had so many surprises. Yeah. But Usher and Beyonce have been around since the 90s. For sure. And as such, their rollout styles during the Super Bowl resembled that. And I want us as a society, as entertainers and business owners, I need us to go back to the basics of the rollout. Yeah. Because the way that everything just compounded, like he is all over Uber Eats commercials. Yes. He did what else he did? He got all these different like commercials and all these other like platforms that he's on. And all of that is because he finished the residency. Yeah. Now he's announced a tour and he's got a new album. This is that classic rollout plan that we missed from the 90s and the 2000s.
And I mean bag on top of bag on top of bag. You got, because they said, the people had said now that he didn't get paid for the Super Bowl.
And they don't.
They don't. However, his management team was so smart that they made sure like we're gonna take advantage of this opportunity in this moment. And we're going to add all of these things around him. So, yes, we're going to have a new album. So, that's his music money. Then we're going to have a tour, which is like his meet and greet. I'm going to see people physically money, right?
That's where they make all their money.
And then he got his other, like, what's the word I want to use?
Endorsement.
Boom. Thank you. Come on, business bestie. And he got his other endorsements, like how you said with Uber Eats. So, that's money coming in from everywhere based off of this one opportunity, this one moment, this one day of him like performing to the whole world, all millions of people, which was the highest streaming Super Bowl in history. Talk about it. Come on, black men doing black people. Okay. Doing in Jesse Wu voice, Black Women's History Month. Okay. It was a very good performance.
Yes, it was.
We was all like,
tell me y'all were okay.
But you don't have to call.
I won't know where it is.
So I don't know what the people was talking about, that the performance wasn't long enough. It was everything.
It was perfect. I thought it was perfect.
Them songs move real fast.
They move fast. But, baby, I'm like, man, we ain't give us the whole
But let's talk about how the tickets is for the Usher concert.
Oh, baby.
Because now Usher. Let me look at you and tell you this right quick. We not coming. You're gonna have to record this concert and put it on the YouTube page, and then I'm gonna watch it there because I'm not paying no $4,000 to see you, boo. And now if Jesus was gonna be on the ticket, then I might spend $4,000 to come, but Jesus ain't gonna be there, so I ain't paying that. What? Now that's to say what? Not say what? I'm not paying no $4,000 to see no Usher. I'll watch all your YouTube videos.
Listen,
I'll watch your Super Bowl performance over there.
I'm not even paying attention to that conversation. Okay? Let me tell you something. I'm all about like spending money on experiences.
Yeah.
Like the girls know, like I like to travel. I like going out of the country. I like going outside. Like I like those types of things. And so experiences like concerts are important to me. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, concerts ain't gonna keep my lights on. No, so you gotta have that balance. And should God bless me, Lord, I thank you. However, I'm a support from afar.
For sure.
I'm gonna listen.
I'll stream that new album now. Okay. But I ain't gonna come see you though.
But in that same vein, because he even did, and I haven't listened to that interview yet, but he just recently did an interview. Was it with Club Shay Shay?
He did one on Breakfast Club.
Club. So I did watch the Breakfast Club one.
Okay.
And he talked about how he gave or he paid homage to all the different facets of Black culture and Black history. So there were nods to Teddy Pendergrass and Bobby Brown and all of these other historic
during the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay.
So he was like, I brought in, Black excellence through the Kappas, and the Kappas came.
Yes.
He was like, I brought in like the roller skating piece because that's a huge part of our culture.
Yes.
Yeah. So he just kind of did that to educate folks and to get them to talk. But Easter eggs are important. I'm one of those people, like when I watch a movie, I'm like, ooh. Like I like to find those, like even with what's his name? Childish Gambino.
Oh yeah.
When he did This Is America, and I studied that music video because I like seeing like little hidden things.
Yes.
Because it all tells a story.
Right, for sure.
Yes.
Which is part of PR.
Part of PR, baby.
She loves.
Something I love. But even like the reemergence of Beyonce on commercials. Because that Verizon,
yes,
that was
so funny to me.
That was so good.
It was so good though. But what was funny to me was people were saying our Verizon bills gonna go up because they had to pay.
Baby,
because you know, me either. Hello, AT&T. But I think shout out to Beyonce for going into country music, and shout out to Beyonce for using the Super Bowl to announce to us that she's going. You get what I'm saying? Like that didn't have nothing to do with nothing. Mm-hmm. The Super Bowl didn't have nothing to do with Beyonce. Mm-hmm. But because her husband, Jay-Z, hello somebody, is over, he's a part of the Super Bowl committee. Yeah. You know, what he do? I don't know specifically, but he in there somewhere with the Super Bowl committee, all right? So she was like, dang, I'm about to do this, that, and the third. Help me put my stuff out with this, that, and the third. So, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I feel like smart business moves for her management team and her PR to make sure that she has, like, you want to drop an album March 29th. Okay, thank you for giving us a heads up in advance to be prepared for what we. So now I know Amazon does send a lot of cowgirl boots and a lot of cowgirl hats and a lot of plaid because once she has inspired us or say like this is the route she's gonna go, then all of us gonna jump on board and say we're gonna do this too because of her influence. So shout out to Beyonce being back on mainstream.
Yeah,
and. Sorry, the Essence cover for hair. Woo!
Beyonce ain't been on an Essence cover in maybe almost 2 decades.
During Black Women's History Month.
The culture.
The Lord is good. Now, I'm not going to buy none of her hair products because, no, I don't want it. But I do love Beyonce enough, and I respect her business moves.
Yeah.
Because I always have. I look up her, Candy Sucker, K Michelle too. I look up to them when it comes down to business moves because they let me know that you can do all things. Like you can do all aspects of business. Whatever business venture you want to go into, you can do it or whatever the case may be. And so I love the fact that they have like so many different multiple streams of income. So
shout out to that. Shout out to that.
Yes.
So we talked about the pluses.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the minuses. Okay, so this segment is called Say What Now?
Say What Now? Let's talk about Monique.
Oh dear.
You ready?
Yes.
Now, I did watch Club Shay Shay with Monique's interview with him on her, basically like telling her side of the story in details. Almost 3 hours. I don't think I finished it, y'all. I think I got into like maybe an hour and 45 minutes.
And then he was like, that's enough.
My ADHD, you know.
I watched the whole thing, child. I said, ooh, girl, and then what happened? Like, I had to get all of the information because I'm a Tyler Perry friend. And my friends call me Oprah. Some of my friends, they like, all right, little Oprah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to hear everything that she had to say.
Right.
So I did sit and listen. It took a couple of pauses.
Yes, because we got stuff to do.
Do you feel like everything was authentic, or do you feel like it was a little fabricated?
Two things can be true.
Yes.
And I think that we found that out with the Cat Williams interview.
For sure.
Because, yes, Cat Williams probably went through all of that stuff.
Right?
Yes.
However, ain't no way you read 8,000 books, baby, in a year, in a summer? What are you doing? You're lying. It's what it is.
It's okay. That's exaggeration of exactly what I call it.
Exaggeration. Like 12, the number 12 is my number of exaggeration. So I would always say, man, you got about 12 pairs of shoes out there. So you gotta exaggerate.
Right.
So people need
his
to know.
exaggeration number must be 8.
Exactly.
So he would have said 8,000 when it probably was 8 books.
Right.
For the summer.
Right.
But
with Monique, I think, to answer your question, I feel like some of it was stretched a little bit. I feel like there were some aspects that were hidden away. And we saw that with the aftermath of her son going out on social media and saying what he said. We see the real true colors, real true colors.
Right.
Allegedly. We have to put that in there. We is not paying $4 million. Come on, somebody. No, but even so, like, the backlash that she got is a direct response of the things that are happening with her son. But the stuff that was happening with the Tyler Perry and the Oprah and all that stuff, people believe it. And I can't necessarily say I don't believe it, because Tyler Perry is amazing. Oprah is amazing. I love them. I love their work. But at the end of the day, we are all human.
Yes.
And the way that I view people is I have a professional outlook of people, and I have a personal.
Yeah.
Now, in a perfect world, they match up.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like this is a great display of that.
Yes.
In other worlds, there are people who I would let be my consultant or a contractor or a coach or whatever, but I'm not gonna go get a cup of coffee with you like on some kiki type stuff. I'm not gonna break bread with you because that's just not where we are.
Right.
But in the same token, I got friends and family members who are amazing people.
Yeah.
But professionally, you and I, we just not gonna click, and that's okay.
Right.
But I feel like that's what happened.
So in this situation, who do you feel like is right? Who do you feel like is unprofessional in all of it? Because how can I say it? If things have been going a certain way all this long time, and the expectation is for you to have been doing whatever has been going on for this long period of time, and then you decide to come and change the dynamic because of who you think you are, or whatever the case may be, and then people be like, well, see, now I don't want to deal with you because you changing the dynamics.
I mean, it's the same thing as when clients will change the scope of work. Yeah, that's a great example,
right?
Because that's actually what happened. Yeah, like the story is that the story is that Monique was like, she did the press run and stuff for Precious, like domestically, and they wanted her to go overseas and promote, but they weren't going to pay her. Right. She was tired of being away from her children. Right. And that was the big issue for her. Yeah. So that's why she wasn't even gung-ho about it in the first place. But then she finally was like, okay, well, how much are y'all going to pay me for my time? Right. And they're like, we're not going to pay you. Like, Lionsgate.
So you're not going to pay me to promote?
Like, I gotta go overseas, spend time away from my children, my husband.
When she already saying that they don't get paid enough. So basically, you want me to go into debt to make sure that you make more money? Because that's what that is.
That is exactly
you're not gonna pay me to promote, and then you're not gonna give me enough money for even being in this movie that you want me to promote. And so I get that. I get it. I know my worth. I'm not gonna move because you're not paying me because of what I'm worth. So I get that.
Yeah.
But you don't have to, at the same time, be disrespectful about it.
You definitely don't. You definitely don't. Because there's always a way to conduct business.
Right.
There's a way. Because
you
exactly. And you don't ever want to damage relationships, as we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And there's a way to set firm boundaries and not feel like, that you're being a bully. Yes. Or that you are being passive aggressive or anything. Just that it is what it is.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think it was Lionsgate. They were the production company that was trying to get her to go out there, and it was beyond her scope of work. Mm-hmm. So I always tell people who are new entrepreneurs, watch your scope.
Yes.
Because people will take advantage of you.
For sure.
And if I said that you're going to pay me X amount of dollars to do X amount of things, then stand on ceremony, Mr. Wayne, because we're not playing these games.
Right.
Because people will take advantage of you, unfortunately.
Yes.
Anything that you do beyond that scope is, number one, you are now liable for, because you understand, what you signed up for, literally. But then the second part of that is with the scope of work, like that's the guideline and it's the checks and balances. So if I say in my contract, okay, I'm going to provide you with X amount of hours of services, and these are the specific services, and you're asking me for something else, well, then that means, guess what? I'm gonna send you another invoice.
I'm sending an invoice.
Okay, Bill.com. Sure. We are taking opportunities for commercials and promotion. So Bill.com, I use y'all if y'all want, if y'all want to come on here or pay us, like we could.
For real. Okay, cool. Anything to say about Monique?
Are we going to hit the discussion of her and her son?
Go ahead, talk about it.
Yes, because because you're
a mom.
Okay, so my take on that is, I think they're both wrong.
The mom and the son.
I don't want to say that she's only wrong by herself.
Okay.
Yeah. Only because, as a mom, I wouldn't want my son to do that to me as well.
Right.
But then on the flip side of it, as a mother, I definitely probably wouldn't agree with a stranger saying, fuck him. I'm sorry.
But it's real, and she said what she said.
Oh dear.
Go ahead.
So as a mother, I could not see myself saying that about my son.
For sure.
I definitely think that she was wrong for how she handled that.
And I do think, like, how you handle your personal life in the public can affect your business relationships or business like perception, if that makes sense, because everything don't have to be for everybody.
Everything ain't for podcasts.
Right. Or for social media, or for people to have an opinion about. And I feel like the same way he probably could have called or texted his mama, or vice versa. She could have called and texted him, instead of y'all inviting us into y'all business to have a conversation about, like, and then for you to turn around and talk about that during your business is insane to me as well. And I understand that comedians do talk about their private life and all that good stuff on stage because they have to talk about what's really going on with them. But I don't think that's something that you can make a joke of if she's a comedian. Right. So how can you laugh at trauma? But that's how Black people cope as well. Like, we do laugh at our trauma, but it's like, this is so sensitive. I don't want to know.
And it's still fresh. This just happened over the weekend.
Yes.
That's crazy. And I also think, to that respect, I heard some backlash. There's a comedian I follow. I've worked with this comedian before on a project. And she was like, can y'all stop recording during our show? And I was like, well, I see two sides. Because number one, if I pay, I'm not going live. Why y'all ain't pay for y'all ticket to come in here? I don't mean no harm. But yo, I had to fork over this $75. So however, you can't get mad at the people for recording in that, because people gonna do what they want to do. Yeah. And you can't control that unless you have like the bags like Chappelle has, and you got the zipper bags and lock them away. Right. And so you have to think about those preventative measures if that's the type of set that you plan on building.
I agree.
So if you whatever you say out of your mouth and whatever you say online, those two things, they stick.
Yes.
And you don't know who's in the audience, who's got a recorder, who's got their phone out, whatever. Right. And instead of being mad at what was said, you were mad at how it got out. And that is a problem for me, especially since this specific comedian has a relationship with Monique.
Right. Well, shout out to Monique and everything that she has going on. I think she's gonna do whatever she want to do.
Yes.
She's gonna say whatever she wants to say.
Yeah.
And she is gonna deal with the fallout of it however she sees fit. And then it's basically up to us to determine whether we want to continue to support her and give her our money based off her reputation and how she is acting or whatever. And I'm not gonna say that she's wrong in everything that she's doing, but I will say that I do feel like there are better ways to handle things.
Yeah.
And that's just that. That's just that on that.
For sure. And this is just a tidbit as a public speaking coach, you can hire me, Heather at strategicprconsulting.com.
Period.
But I got you. But one of the things that I often think about is what happens when somebody asks you a question that you don't want to answer. Mm-hmm. Number one, we cannot assume that she didn't want to answer the question. Mm-hmm. But number two, there's a way to shut things down if you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because we've seen this with other high-profile celebrities who have said, hey, in their interviews, that's not a subject that I want to talk about. Yeah. And as your publicist, your team should be in the know of what questions are going to be asked. And you have a way of prepping people. I do media prep for people, and we go over and rehearse their answers, the questions, like spin-off questions, what if questions. Mm-hmm. And if there's a hard topic that you don't want to address, you have to be your biggest advocate and say, I don't want to talk about that.
Especially if it makes you uncomfortable.
Exactly. And that's not necessarily, people going to say what they're going to say. She got something to hide. No, I just don't feel comfortable with that. And I think we need to get back to that. Like, while celebrity tea is key, you have to also protect your client. And as a PR person, it's easier for me to get people to trust you and you have earned media than for me to have to get into crisis management mode. And then I'm Heather Pope, and then y'all got to figure out how we're going to handle this situation.
Right.
So you just have to set yourself up for success.
For sure.
And anything that you say, know that it could be misconstrued.
Yes.
And your facts are your facts, your opinions are your opinions. But once they out, they out.
Facts. So let's consider that your BB bullet point of the evening.
Can I be like one?
Okay, so what's the other one? You got another one?
Yeah, I do. I feel like just to touch back on what I've mentioned about the scope of work, and I can only speak to that because I've recently had an issue with someone who works for a company who's a client, and they asked me to do something that is technically their job description, and I am a consultant. And one of the things that is really bothersome to me is when people ask you to do things outside of your scope of work. Number one, if we don't have that relationship, the answers are already going to be no.
Right.
Number two, make sure that whatever you ask me to do commiserates with what you're paying.
Period.
And number three, if it's not in that scope of work, I recommend you doing your job so that I can effectively do my job. Sure. Because if I'm off post helping you with what you need help with and my stuff isn't taken care of, your stuff might be completed, but then the client's going to look at me like, well, why isn't this done?
Right.
So I have to make sure that, just like with airplanes, the mask drop down, you put your own mask on first, and then you help the others.
Yes. Okay. What's yours? You got one? Your bullet point for the evening. This is Brown Boss Bullet Points. We're going to give you some business tips to help you through the week or the month, or some things that we have dealt with recently that we want to share with you, as far as this is something I've learned and something that you may want to apply to your own business.
I think most recently, just expecting the unexpected.
That's a good one.
Just being prepared and ready for anything to be thrown your way.
Yeah.
Don't get distracted by it.
So yes.
So yeah, just preparing for the unexpected.
Cool. Mine will be I'm gonna be honest, get your rest.
Oh, amen.
I'm just being honest.
Please.
You have to get your rest. You have to recharge. You have to get some me time in. You can't. You have to give yourself some time, like decompress, get your thoughts together, like recap whatever you've done, and then rejuvenate so that you are able to give more or give to people more throughout the week or the month or whatever the case may be. Like that's something I had to do for myself today was like literally like just rest, don't do nothing. Do a stopping point. Like, all right, I'm gonna work till 12 and that's it. I don't want to work no more today because I need to rest my brain and I'm tired of thinking. So that's my bullet point for today. Rest, be consistent, and don't try to rush anything. Like take your time and like really make sure that your foundation is legit and good before you build on top of that. So whatever, like however long it takes for you to build your foundation, do that so that whenever you are building on top of it, you have a strong foundation and it won't have any cracks in it. And that is my bullet point for the evening. Amen.
Right. Yeah. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us with the Platform by Brown Boss Collaborative. Stay tuned for our next episode. We are so excited to share our business jewels with you. Please remember to like us on Facebook and follow us and subscribe on YouTube. We are excited for all that is to come for 2024 and beyond. So let's go higher. This is the platform.
Yes. Thank y'all for joining
in.
Bye.